Hello at Any5 Gamers. Today we have a short little filler video here. We're going to be going through the winners of Call of the Abyss 8. There's like a short little thingy that they have for a short little event or something rather. I was supposed to do Forward's character day today, but I literally don't have the time and I need to sleep and I'm tired. So we'll do that a different day. Hopefully it won't run out of time or something. I don't know. I guess we also have some other events, but we're focusing on this right here, the COA 8 Championship Celebration. So if we click here, we can see that, of course, Team Zeta are the winners of COA 8. Of course, in the shop, you could, for 100 clues, purchase this little portrait here for the champion Zeta thingy here. I already got it in the last video. But I guess I wanted to quickly take a look at this little thing here. Let's send some congratulations here. Congrats to Zeta, the champions here. Love the graffiti here. Hey, look, that's me. Yo! If I do it again. Whoa! Anyway, so I think if you review the final, you can actually watch the official stream thing here. Yeah, this is really interesting. I think it's it's funny because they even talk about how some of the Zeta members started off as content creators. Which is pretty cool. So, yeah, I guess we'll just kind of quickly look through it here. I just want to talk about two players here specifically. First off being Kazuneko, who is, in my personal opinion, the best survivor in the world. If not best survivor, the best survivor in Japan. Most definitely. Kazuneko is just absolutely goated with so many different characters. A lot of niche characters as well, things like journalist and entomologist he's very, very good with, which is just another reason why I love Kazuneko. And he's just absolutely insane. Like, he's extremely, extremely good with almost every single character that he plays. He's very consistent, very, very clutch. I'm so happy to see Kazuneko winning COA this year. And Peter as well. So Zeta was in a bit of an interesting position because their previous hunter, Alf, was very strong. Alpha is a very, very strong hunter. However, back in IVS, which is sort of like a summer mini COA, I guess you could say, it's not, mini is excited. It's extremely small tournament. It's only like, what, 8 to 10 teams are invited, I think? I forget. But it's like an invitational tournament, right? And Zeta was very close to winning. However, they lost to Team GR in the end. And Team GR, let's just say, their survivors were not the most sportsmanlike to Alf, and this caused Alf to take a hiatus and stop playing for a while. He didn't play in IJL after IVS, which is interesting because then you had Miko Melody, who is the current backup hunter for Zeta, and Miko Melody was very, very strong. Very good Opera, very good Ivy. But I don't think Miko Melody was anything like super crazy. It was just really solid. Nothing, not like any dominant, like, wow, this is like one of the best hunters in the world. More just like a very solid, consistent player, right? And then before COA happened, Peter joined Zeta. So it needs to be said, Peter is also extremely young. Peter, I believe, is 17 right now. So last year he was 16 years old on Team RC. And RC Peter is a name that should be known because this man was the best opera singer in the world. Doesn't really play opera as much anymore. But Peter is, and probably still, or I should say was, probably still is the best opera singer in the world. Literally got picked up by RC specifically because of how good his opera singer was. And after COA, he was like, okay, I'm not a part of RC anymore. And it was like, huh, weird. And then we all thought Peter was like just gone, right? But then out of nowhere, we see this announcement that Zeta picked up Peter, and then we were all like, oh, how does Peter lose, right? And it was insane. But then, Wolves. I gotta talk about Wolves' domination. Wolves Choi especially. Choi, in every single set outside of the finals, he got a 4K or 3K in every single match. He got 4K, like, I want to say 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time he got 3K. It was insane, dude. Choi was absolutely insane. Against a hunter like that, it seemed like it was nearly impossible to win. And I at first thought, when I first saw Peter joining Team Zeta, I thought Zeta would win COA. But once I started seeing Choi and the rest of Wolves being so consistently insane, I was like, it has to be Wolves. So Wolves were undefeated, Zeta were undefeated in the finals, right? And we all thought it was going to be Wolves. Most people thought it was going to be Wolves. A lot of people on the Age server thought it was going to be Zeta because, of course, you want to cheer for your home team. But in NAEU, at least, I think it was like 80% thought it was going to be Wolves, 20% thought it was going to be Zeta. I thought it was going to be Wolves. Even my buddy Zeus IDV, who originally thought Zeta would win, also saw the stats from Wolves, thought Wolves would win. And here's the thing as well. Zeta made history because they are the very first Japanese team to ever win Call of the Abyss. Every single year, COAs 1 through 7, it was a Chinese team. So Zeta made so much history here because all of their members, by the way, they all the members, like, they have really good chemistry with each other, which is one thing. They have a lot of history with each other, a lot of different backgrounds here. But there were so many awesome story arcs that need to be talked about. The first one, of course, is Zeta becoming the first JP team to win Call of the Abyss 8, beating out Wolves in a 3-0 fashion. That's one thing. I think according to Zeus, COA has never been a 3-0. There has never been a point where a team did not have a set or like a round win on another one, or hadn't got a round win on another one, right? Until this year, until Zeta 3-0'd Wolves. Now, it's supposed to be a best of 5, right? You know, typically that would go to like, you know, round 5. Last year it went to round 5 when it was GG versus RC. This year, it was 3-0. Zeta 3-0'd Wolves while they were the underdog, while also being the Japan team that would, you know, most people would think the Chinese team would win, right? So that's crazy. It also is really interesting because Peter himself was the only player to actually make finals in both years, because last year it was GG versus RC. This year it was Wolves versus Zeta in the finals. But Peter was on RC last year and was on Zeta this year. So it's interesting that Peter unfortunately couldn't win it last year with RC. He came in second. But then this year he was able to triumph. He was able to win COA this year after missing it last year. And I think it's even more special that GG also beat GR, but then Zeta beat GG. So in a way, they also beat GR as well, because they got the revenge onto Team GR for Alf. They made Alf proud by winning COA. So sort of getting like a little bit of revenge there, you know, after what happened with Alf. It's just really cool because there's just so many little storylines with all of these different players, and I just think it's really, really cool. And I guess we have like a little bit of a showcase and stats of each person here. And, you know, every person played so incredibly well. Even Miko Melody. I was very concerned about Miko Melody in the later rounds, but Miko Melody pulled his weight very well, because Peter only played rounds 1 and round 2, and then Miko Melody focused on rounds 3 and beyond. But Miko Melody pulled his weight very well. Very, very well. And then, yeah, obviously Peter... First, second, just absolutely insane. I think the only person who even had close to this level of domination was Choai. I think Choai was technically more outside of the finals. I think the finals did push Peter above Choai, but yeah, Choai probably had more consistent stats outside of just the final matchup. And of course, Peter gets the FMVP because he was just absolutely goated in both round 1 and round 2. And then we have, of course, my GOAT, Kozaneko, my favorite player to watch. And then Alfred, which I believe was their sub survivor, but he didn't really get the chance to play. But, you know, every member did so very well in this. And it was just really cool. We also get some little rewards here for a lot of the stuff here. So let's see. I think, like, yeah, for this week, we get, you know, we get, like, a B tier accessory thing. We get an emote unlock card next week. We get some golden apples as well as some other stuff. But you do have to play some of these characters here. You got to play Hullabaloo or Hermit. You got to play Finn, Acro, Officer, Goatman or Opera. You know, you got to play some certain characters. It's also pretty interesting that I think Novelist was in this little champion lineup thing that they have here last year, and he was also here this year. So Novelist is in a really weird spot because Novelist also had a bit of an arc himself, where last year it was the very first time he was able to be legal in tourney was during COA 7 at the very beginning. Because they had that adjustment, right? And then he became kind of bad after COA because they released Ivy. And then Ivy started becoming, well, she got nerfed, obviously, and then she became less consistent. So Novice was able to rise back in the meta since he performed very well into Hullabaloo, Goatman, and Opera Singer. So Novice kind of came back into the meta and is seen as a very, very strong kiter. Pretty hard to play at a high level, but very, very strong. We also do have some costumes here that are coming back here. You know, just because a lot of people were playing like with these costumes specifically, or like characters that had these costumes. So, you know, we have a few costumes that kind of come back here, which is pretty cool. Some of them, of course, are on sale, which is nice to see. And as you can see, yeah, even Kazeneko is playing stuff like journalists, so that's pretty cool. And then I believe next week here, yes, next week we should have the COA Champion costumes to be revealed. Now, I have no idea who they're going to reveal here. I really don't know. I really don't know. There's a lot of choices here. There are tons and tons of choices, but I think there's a very high chance that Opera Singer will be picked, just because, you know, Peter is the best opera singer in the world, unless he decides to choose Hullabaloo or Goatman. But I feel like Peter has a connection with Opera Singer, and a lot of people know him for that Opera Singer. So if he gets to choose the Hunter, I feel like he will definitely choose Opera Singer. I don't know what survivor they'll pick. I was kind of hoping Kazeneko might pick Melly if they let, you know, Kazeneko lean into picking the one. But I feel like they could also choose something like Knight, because they played Knight a lot. They like Aeroplanists a lot. They could do, I guess, Forward. There's a lot of characters they could pick, obviously. There's a ton of characters they could pick. So I guess we'll have to wait and see who they pick. But yeah, that's just a short little video. I wanted to talk about Zeta, and well, I just think they're such a cool team, and why I'm just so proud of them for winning COA this year. It took a lot, you know. It's not easy to win COA, and they're the first JP team to do it. So huge congrats to Zeta once again. I'll just send my little congratulations here, and yeah, that's gonna be it. I just wanted to talk about Zeta there for a little bit. So thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you all later. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.